وبعد. Yesterday we were talking about verse 228 of Surah Al-Baqarah, which were some rulings about divorce. And continuing in that verse, so yesterday, just to recap, we talked about how many Muslims don't understand that there's a cooling off period after a pronouncement of divorce. In the second part of that verse, it says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ إِن كُنَّ يُؤْمِنَّ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. That it is not allowed for her, after divorce is pronounced for the woman, it is not allowed for her to conceal what Allah has created in her womb if they believe, meaning the women, if they believe in Allah and the last day. It's a very strict warning that if a woman is pregnant and her husband makes a pronouncement of divorce, she should not conceal that and pretend like she's not pregnant so that she can either get a different iddah cooling off period, or so that she doesn't know, like the husband doesn't know that time before this divorce finalizes. You can't hide it. You can't pretend and be like, you know what? Oh, my period, didn't really come, or it didn't start, or it started on a different date because you don't like the dates, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And the second is, I've been getting this commercial, I don't know if on YouTube, I'm getting this commercial about California is a beautiful place to live, but our freedom is under attack, and it's talking about abortion, and they talked about, it's my body and it's my right, and this concept, right? And I'm not getting into the concept of abortion, but this idea of my body, my choice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning this here. He said it's not just your body. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates something in your womb, this is a child, and this child was formed through the combination of male and female, right? There's a fertilization of that embryo. So there is a responsibility that both parents have when it comes to this child going to be coming into the world. So this is point number one. Point number two, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا. That it says, and their husbands have the right to take them back if they want to make a reconciliation between them. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And women also have similar rights as well towards men, according to the right way. This is the second thing. So I wanted to address 3 points, 3 most common misconceptions of divorce. Yesterday we talked about not knowing about the cooling off period. The second is not knowing about what's called talaq raj'i, which is a revocable divorce. So there's this period, this cooling off period is kind of connected to it. It's the idea that if a divorce is pronounced, it can be taken back. Now, among the most common things that I hear is that, can I take it back after the iddah period is over? No, because then it's finalized. So it has to be done within the iddah period. Another thing I hear, do I need her permission to retract my divorce? What if she says, I don't want you to retract the divorce? Does the man have to get permission from his wife to retract the divorce that he pronounced? No, because what's the point of pronouncing the divorce? If he made the pronouncement, he has the ability to retract it. So these are some very, very common misconceptions that people have. And I'll just address the third one. The next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الطلاق مرتان. So divorce is twice. It's very important. I think everyone should try to memorize this part of the verse. Very simple. الطلاق مرتان. Divorce is 2 times. فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. Either keep her or let her go with ihsan, with excellence. What does this mean? It means that you get 2 chances. Because if there's a cooling off period, if the husband wants to abuse the wife, every day, and this happens too much by the way, every day he can say, you know what? I divorce you. And I take you back. And then next week, I divorce you again. Anytime something doesn't happen, you know what? There's too much salt in this food. You can't cook. Anti talaq, I divorce you. And then, oh yeah, no, I didn't really mean that. I take you back. And you could do that 100 times. And then you're playing with divorce. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a rule. He said, no, the man cannot play with this wording of divorce. At-talaqu marratan, divorce is twice. You get 2 chances. You get 2 strikes. If you do it the 3rd time, you're out. There is no retraction. You cannot retract the divorce. And I'm telling you, I told you yesterday, more than 50% of my questions I get from community around the world are about talaq, about divorce. And out of all the questions that I get about divorce, the number 1 is, I did 3 pronouncements of divorce, how can I cancel it? How can I somehow undo me not following when Allah told me at-talaqu marratan, divorce is twice, and I went ahead and did the 3rd time? Figure out, Shaykh, figure out some way that I can undo what Allah told me not to do. I rarely raise my voice. I felt like doing it right now because it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. The number 1 question, I'm so sick and tired of getting the same question from the entire world of the Muslim Ummah, 2 billion people. The number 1 question ever I've gotten in my 20 years of being an imam is, how do I reverse the 3rd talaq? Please memorize. At-talaqu marratan, divorce is twice. If you got 2 strikes, you better not mess up. Allahumma hal balaght. Oh Allah, have I conveyed this message to my community here? Have I conveyed it? Yes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our tongues. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our families. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. I think they're giving it now.